Mysterious miners are taking over the Bitcoin network. Who are they? And what do they want? And other Bitcoin mining related news. Well, the first story, yes, is indeed that unknown miners or untied miners, meaning they aren't affiliated with any particular Bitcoin mining pool, at least any known Bitcoin mining pools, are gaining a significant percentage of the total hash rate distribution of the Bitcoin mining network as it is right now. Who are these people? What are they doing? Well, it is an interesting question to ask because we don't know. That's the interesting part. That's the unknown part of the miners. Is it an individual going it alone? Just one dude in his one mining rig in his basement mining Bitcoin? Well, there's that guy. He's out there. He's mining Bitcoin. But if he's not affiliated with the pool, his chance of ever mining a Bitcoin or getting the block reward, getting 12.5 Bitcoin, is like winning the lottery. It's almost certainly not going to happen, but it could happen someday. It's possible, technically, but incredibly unlikely. So, is it a new mining pool that simply hasn't announced? Well, that's maybe possible. Oligarchs, the rich, they have the money, they have the incentive. Could definitely be a thing to see oligarchs, yes, getting into Bitcoin mining. I would not be surprised at all to see some oligarchs announcing, yeah, we're mining Bitcoin big time and it's the new thing we're doing. But they might not tell anyone. They might just be doing it very quietly in the background and they'll never announce. A wallet will just fill up with Bitcoin somewhere and it'll be cashed out someday and nobody will ever know who it was. Is it Wall Street? Is it JP Morgan? Trashing Bitcoin over here, saying blockchain, not Bitcoin, and yet mining Bitcoin over here. Maybe. Probably not. Is it backed? That's interesting. It could be backed. They haven't said anything about it, and I feel like they would just say it if they were doing it. Maybe not, but the idea of getting fresh Bitcoin, it's really powerful because it erases all the problems of, yeah, but that Bitcoin was used to buy drugs and hookers and other bad things potentially were done with it. When you have freshly mined Bitcoin, you can't have that conversation because you know exactly where it came from because you mined it yourself. You mine it yourself, you make a paper to represent that, you trade it around in the stock exchanges. Possible. Is it Samsung? Samsung's been making Bitcoin mining chips for a while. Are they mining secretly and just not telling anyone about it? Another possibility. What about a state-level actor? Is it Iran? Is it North Korea? Is it Venezuela? Is it France? Who knows? Could be any of those. Space aliens and Elvis together. The new Bitcoin mining guild. CIA? Why not the CIA? Probably. They're probably been doing it for years. Look, the reality is that it's not any one specifically of that group of names that I've mentioned here. Potentially a lot of different ones all together, though. Maybe 3% of that's oligarchs and 5% of it's a state actor and then 2% of it's just dudes with mining rigs going in their basements. Some guy sets up a solar farm somewhere, buys himself 100 Bitcoin mining rigs. Boom, free energy, free hash rate, rocking and rolling. Possible. Very possible. It's going to be some of these without a doubt. But overall, my general sentiment of this entire idea is that this is a good thing. It's nice to see the Bitcoin mining network becoming increasingly decentralized because for far too long, Bitmain has had far too much influence. To see Antpool and other Bitmain-owned or affiliated pools decreasing in power is a good thing. So I welcome this move, whoever these mysterious miners might be. A report from JP Morgan as well says that the production weighted cost per Bitcoin to mine averaged around $4,000 worldwide in quarter 4 2018. That makes it very difficult for many miners globally. We see, for example, in China that it's much more profitable if you have a contract directly with the electricity generators. There are some people who have been doing that. Those guys can get it as low as $2,400 per coin. For anybody who has to stick with the global average, well, you can see that the price of Bitcoin right now is not $4,000. So you're either mining at a loss or you're turning off your machines. And people are turning off their machines. That's straight up. But Others are innovating. Others are finding ways to get cheaper Bitcoin. The market is taking care of itself, and that's the amazing thing to see happening, is that even though the price goes down, it's not the end of Bitcoin. It's not the end of the Bitcoin network. It just means that miners innovate more. For example, we're seeing Block Labs, which was co-founded by Jeff Garzik. They've launched their beta version of what they're calling Titan. This is a new software suite for cryptocurrency miners, saying that they can maximize the hash rate on any given mining machine by up to double digits. Now, while they're giving this program away for free, they do expect a percentage of the profits to come back to them. The main goal here is to lengthen the shelf life of mining machines, which is a fantastic goal because, as we've discussed many times on the channel, the turn and burn of mining machines is totally unsustainable as a long-term thing. We've got to be able to make the existing machines more efficient. This is part of that. And I welcome any innovations that can help remove that argument where they say, yeah, but it's so inefficient. Bitcoin mining is using up all this energy. I mean, 80% of it's done on renewables anyway. But still, let's get the other 20% on renewables and let's make it more efficient. Let's make the machines last longer. Let's bring the total energy consumption of those machines down and make Bitcoin mining more sustainable overall. Because then that removes an argument from the detractors. And that's a good thing. Now, also a note about what Block Labs is doing with Titan, that this is not just for Bitcoin mining. This can actually be applied to lots of different mining algorithms. So for Litecoin miners and Ethereum miners, this also can be very relevant. Another way, though, that Bitcoin miners are trying to innovate, moving shop. The Middle East is fast becoming a new home for crypto miners from China, trying to make some cash. Make that Bitcoin mining money, guys. Yeah. Now, in order to do this, miners moving from China over to Iran. Problem is, it's not so easy to just do that. Trying to get the mining rigs into Iran, not as straightforward as it should be, because Iran has banned the import of Bitcoin mining rigs. So they're either turned away at the border, or they're confiscated, or of course you got to pay a bit of a bribe to get in, which decreases your overall profitability of moving to Iran in the first place. But this just shows the dedication and the innovation of miners, the dedication to go out there and make that money. And you thought you were into Bitcoin? These guys are super into Bitcoin. Have you ever driven a truckload of Bitcoin miners across the Himalayas, through war zones, and then smuggled your mining rigs into Iran? No, you probably haven't. I haven't either. But those guys have great work stories. Holy cow. I should do my next travel vlog video riding shotgun with Bitcoin smugglers through the Himalayas. Watch out, it's a Yeti! Oh my god! That'd be a good time. Interesting though, fun fact for you. Iranian customs officials are currently holding around 40,000 mining rigs. What if Iran is one of the mystery miners? They really could be, considering the fact on the ground is they're holding 40,000 mining rigs that we know of. They might have more that they've confiscated or whatever. Maybe the government's even got more from people within inside the country where they go out and bust mining operations and mining farms and confiscate all the equipment. This could be a very real thing. Not saying it's happening. I have zero evidence to back up that statement that I just made, but possible. And the competition continues. It's not just Iran. Lots of countries are being very competitive when it comes to Bitcoin mining. We see, for example, Georgia, the Republic of, not the state in the United States. In fact, the Republic of is putting pressure on places like the United States as it becomes harder for them to compete in terms of competitive electricity prices. Even as Bitcoin goes down in value, Georgia is continuing to put money in. Georgians themselves are selling cars and cows and things like this to get Bitcoin miners. Probably happening a lot more at the start of the year, but in total, 200,000 regular Georgian people, just regular, moms and dads and young dudes, mining Bitcoin in their basements and in their garages. That's pretty impressive for a country of 3.7 million people. In total, 10% of Georgia's electricity supply is being used to mine cryptocurrencies. Wowzers. And of course, Bitfury is the name that you probably think about when you think about the Republic of Georgia and Bitcoin mining. And yes, Bitfury remains a very relevant player. Even though, of course, they've had to scale back some of their operations as well, like all the big players have had to at the moment, their Georgian operations remain very strong. We see, for example, that they're experimenting currently with 160 hermetically sealed stainless steel tanks filled with power-efficient chips and special cooling liquid. Nice. This is an experiment to help keep energy costs down and to make Bitcoin mining, as they claim, cost-effective almost anywhere. Now look, Bitfury does get preferential power rates from the government, and I'm not the biggest fan of governments subsidizing Bitcoin mining, but that is the reality of what's happening. But I like the innovation that they're bringing forward because they can bring that innovation and make it very effective. Again, that moves Bitcoin mining forward. And Georgia overall, very pro-crypto, very pro-blockchain. Bitfury's helped them, for example, migrate their whole land registry onto the blockchain, or almost their whole land registry onto the blockchain, which is really awesome. They're looking at different ways to do tax incentives. And yes, they do have some tax-free zones right now in Georgia for cryptocurrencies, but the overall idea is how do they take on Malta? How do they take on Bermuda? How do they take on Switzerland when it comes down to cryptocurrencies? That is going to be a real challenge for them moving forward. Mongolia also wants to be in on the party. Mongolia, cheap power rates, famously cold for a lot of the year. So the company Ginkgo from Japan, they are tripling their total Bitcoin mining capacity in Mongolia this year. So we see lots of innovation happening, lots of companies, very fluid, very willing to move shop in order to keep mining Bitcoin and to keep making that money. That, of course, is the important thing. And all of this might mean nothing or very little when Paraguay's Golden Goose project actually gets up and running. That could be one that will be the biggest Bitcoin mine in the world. But it's great to see innovation happening. It's great to see the miners out there decentralizing the network and being competitive, trying to keep those prices down. Anyway, just my 2 Satoshis. You guys let me know what you think about the current state of Bitcoin mining down below in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching this video. You guys are super awesome. Thank you so much for watching. And of course, if you enjoyed the video, leave a thumbs up on it. If you're new around here, subscribe to the channel. You can hit that notification bell to stay up to date when I put out a new video. Long live the blockchain, and peace out till next time.